Welcome, everyone, to the Sacred Feminine Connection podcast, founded by me, Anne Reynolds. And I founded this podcast with a mission. And that mission is to reweave the red thread of sisterhood among women around the world and to restore the sacred connection that existed between the sacred feminine and sacred masculine since ancient times, but was lost and forgotten. At this time, this podcast airs every second Monday of the month, and I'm super, super excited to introduce today's speaker. So today's speaker is Mieke Anthuenis, and I am going to put her on in one moment, but I will just say a little bit about her. So Mieke is a shamanic womb priestess, and she is the co-author of the best-selling book Return to the Mother World. She is the founder of Red Terra Tree, and she is devoted to helping women reactivate the sacred power of their female nature, remember their innate feminine spirituality, and reclaim holistic pathways to well-being and empowerment. Rooted in mystery school traditions, Mieke focuses deeply on the wisdom of the womb and the magic of menstruation and menopause, including the transformative energy of sacred sexuality. Her approach is deeply informed by her work with energy medicine, the years she spent in South America, and her background in Tuina and traditional Chinese medicine. She guides sacred feminine retreats and pilgrimages to the Mary Magdalene in the Cathar region in the south of France, the sacred land where Mary Magdalene is said to have taught and lived. Offers one-on-one womb healing sessions, workshops, online circles, and longer trainings. So I am so excited to present Mieke Anthuenis. Welcome, Mieke. It is such a joy to have you here. Thank you so much for gracing us with your beautiful presence.
Well, and I'm very happy to be here too, and thank you for inviting me. I'm really thrilled.
Me too. I'm so excited to have you here. So Mieke and I have actually met in person, and and this is it really makes a difference when having an interview with someone for a podcast, especially when I have met the person. I have met that person in person, which is the case with Mieke, and she is such a beautiful soul, and I'm really super excited to feature her here. I would say that one of the key moments, I would say, just like is as part of her introduction with all her accolades and her experience, is that she has the power to bring a woman inward towards her womb wisdom that she always had within. That is one thing that I can say about her, and so I'm so excited that she could join us today. And so, okay, so well, we can go ahead and get started with this interview and jump right in. So, first of all, Mieke, could you tell us, how did the sacred feminine call out to you for the first time in your life?
Mm. Um, well, I believe she was calling me already long before I understood that she was calling me. And then the first time that I really understood that she called me was when I surrendered to the unknown and I started traveling to South America. That was started in 2008, 2009. So that's already like more than 15 years ago. And then meeting on this other continent, the jungle, the pre-colonial, thus pre-patriarchal sacred sites, meeting also medicine women from different traditions. I used to travel to a Maloka, a ceremonial place in the south of Colombia, where they organized events and they invited like medicine men and medicine women from different traditions, but with a focus on the sacred feminine. And this is where I really learned to sit with sisters in circle and to work with the the menstrual cycle and the menstrual blood also. This was the beginning of my spiritual path, let's say, connecting to my womb, to my body, learning about the sacred feminine and the balance between masculine and feminine, as taught, for example, by the Kogis. But I also met medicine women from the Lakota tradition, from the Quechua, Piurik, different traditions. Was a yes, my work is very much informed by that period.
So one thing that you mentioned is that you she called out to you when you started to travel to South America. So was there a voice, or was there a feeling, or what is it exactly that inspired you to start your travels to South America?
Um, I knew that there was more than the logical mind. I knew that there was more for me to heal, and in order to heal and to grow whole, I had to go beyond what I already knew. So and I wanted to start working with plant medicine. That's was my introduction to shamanism, the, and the bridge with the unseen world, the other dimensions, and of course the Great Mother, as she is present in the earth and the earth-based traditions.
That's so beautiful that you work with plant medicine. And interestingly enough, that is maybe one of my draws to you, because before I knew you, I was already also drawn to plant medicine, and I did a course on plant communication. So this is really wonderful to know. And one thing that I would like to ask you, because I do know that among the work that you do, it includes the yoni steaming with for the plant medicine. So is there anything in particular that just um, like calls out to you among everything that you know about plant medicine, or is there anything that you could share with us about it, like just maybe some tiny thing that feels like it's rising for you about it?
Um, Yoni steaming, also known as vaginal steaming or womb steaming, is a very sacred practice that really activates the the wisdom and the memory of our womb. And a lot of the feminine spirituality, the feminine knowledge about the world, about plants, has been lost. But when we steam and when we make this connection um, with the steam, and the steam is made of the elements earth, air, water, fire, and we take this energy, we receive this energy through the temple of our body, then we really like reconnect to ancient feminine wisdom and lineages. And this is only the spiritual benefit, the energetic benefit of steaming. There's also many benefits um, the, the the physical and on the emotional level. Yes,
So
steaming is a very beautiful medicine.
very beautiful. That's so wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing, Mika. And yes, I actually tried this, and I could really feel it on all those levels, like she mentioned. So, but there is more to that. So I will not. I won't spill the beans too soon. So, but this is so amazing already. And so, just continuing on about your experience with the sacred feminine and with the womb shamans that you met. in this in An Amaloca in the south of Colombia. Is that right? Did I get that correct? In the south of
Mhm.
Colombia. Could you share with us your experience of the sacred feminine that made the most impact in your life and motivated you towards the work you do with women today?
Mm. Yes, there have been many thresholds, but one of the most important um, is the miscarriage I had in 2017. This was for me, of course, a moment of grief, but also of initiation, because I felt after the miscarriage, I felt very much connected to the source of the eternal wheel of life and death and rebirth. Like being pregnant for only 8 weeks had made me experience like life and then death. And I also experienced the rebirth um, through living really the holiness and the feeling that our womb connects us to something that goes beyond life and death. Our womb is really a place of transmutation, and it's the home of our soul. It's where spirit comes into matter and matter goes into spirit. And like reconnecting to this source, to this cosmic womb. And the cosmic womb for me is the black hole, where from that births the universe, and where everything also goes back to, like it's the womb and it's the tomb. This connection to the cosmic womb has really for me been the start of the womb awakening path that I'm now teaching women. It was for me the impetus to start training myself in womb awakening, in yoni steaming, and many other modalities um, that I'm teaching now. So it was a birth. It was a birth, not of a child, but of the work that I'm offering.
That's just so profound how you just explained all of that. It's like the whole cosmology and the importance of, I mean, the sacredness and the depth of the womb and how it has its cosmic in essence, and how there's from death, how you just shared about your miscarriage, which I am so sorry to hear. But at the same time, it was the driving force to giving life to red territory. That is so beautiful. That and this is what propelled all your programs, and it's just shows of how the feminine is all about that cycle, about the death and rebirth, and everything, and everything just comes back in a circle. But then this is the profoundness and sacredness of the feminine wisdom that is present if we can only get a glimpse and tap into it as deeply as you mentioned it. This is so beautiful.
Mm. Thank you, Anne.
So because we are already talking about the womb,
Mhm.
today's podcast interview is entitled The Womb of the Magdalene. Could you tell us a little bit more on how you came up with the title or was inspired to give this title to today's talk?
Mhm. Yes, the womb of the Magdalene. Um, Mary Magdalene is very important. This last this time, this in the transition that we are going through, many men and women and human beings feel her presence very strongly. Like she's really in the heart and the womb of many people. And Mary Magdalene is actually our most important womb keeper. So she keeps this lineage of womb wisdom. She is, although she was portrayed for such a long time as a prostitute and as a sinner, she was a high initiate in the mysteries. Womb mysteries going back to ancient times, to Isis and before India. And she is initiated in the womb mysteries, in the mysteries of the sacred union, and also in the mysteries of the holy blood. And she teaches us to be really embodied. She teaches us to be in our womb and from our womb connected to the earth. So she is very much a guide and a teacher for us in these times, a teacher in embodiment, in being present with the earth. She is also very much connected to the Black Madonna, to the cosmic womb. So she teaches us to be inside of her own womb and at the same time the womb of the earth and the womb of the cosmos. She's at those three levels, from the tree of life. She's present there. And she teaches us all about love. So she makes really the connection between the womb and the heart. And she's a vessel of gnosis. So she knows how to tap into our inner, she teaches us how to tap into our inner truth without a priest, without a guide, like from the inside. So she's really a teacher in womb coherence. What I call womb coherence is the coherence, the alignment between the mind, the heart, and the womb. And from this alignment, we connect to the divine. So our body and our presence is really a vessel for the divine. And she's also often presented with a vessel. She teaches us to be a vessel for the divine. And we are a vessel of the divine as human beings.
Yes, that's right. She is often portrayed with a vessel, with a jar,
Mm.
and there is so much deeper meaning to that than just. But she also was. She created anointing oils as well, and that's like just um, the more surface level of it. But you just explained the depth of her message and her teachings in less than 1 minute. So
Yeah. She
um,
anointed Yeshua. She anointed Yeshua, which means that he was at least as highly trained as Yeshua, because she anointed him, and anointing is like initiating into the Christ mysteries. So she's a very important person, and it's only in 2016 that she was restored as one of the most important persons in the beginning of the Christian tradition. Mm.
yes, this holds a very significant place for me as well because my mother's name is Magdalene, and who would have known that I would that she would call me to go deep into these teachings. And here I am, right in here in the middle of this interview and interviewing you, Mika.
Mhm.
This is so wonderful. So, because we are talking about Mary Magdalene, and you just mentioned about, the depth of her teachings, could you tell us how she called out to you, or when did you come into contact with with everything that comes from her and her teachings of love?
Being connected a lot to the the menstrual cycle and the blood is the red path, is the left hand path. Also, the tantric schools that I visited, the sacred sexuality, um, and I live in the Cathar region in the south of France. So we have a statue of Mary Magdalene in our garden, and it is a house, it is a land that used to belong to the nuns of Cluny, who were also part of a reformative movement against the Catholic Church. Um, so and she, of course, Mary Magdalene is very present in the Cathar region that you already mentioned in the introduction. It is, many legends say that Mary Magdalene, after the crucifixion, she came to France and she landed in Sainte Marie de la Mer, and from there she traveled to the region where I live, under Carcassonne, up until the Pyrenees. So all of this region between where she landed, where she came to land, and the Pyrenees, many springs, many places, villages are called after her and still carry her her energy, her memory. It is even said that she gave her wisdom to the water before she died. And the village we live next to, Allais-les-Bains, is where there's a spring. It's a village that is called the chosen place because it's like above many springs and underground lakes. So the energy is very, very sacred. And there I also saw her coming out of like, I saw her emerging from the water. But there's other springs that are called the Source de la Madeleine, the source of Mary Magdalene. um, so she's really very present there with her energy, with her love also. And this is an embodied energy that brings us back to the old times when the divine feminine was still very present, and when we had this other cosmology, this womb cosmology from pre-patriarchal times.
So, out of everything you said, I wanted to ask you about could you tell a little bit more about how you saw her emerging from the water?
What can I say? Um, we were visiting the spring with a group, and we were sitting there. Like the energy had shifted. It became very holy, and then I saw her and I felt her, and she is a very, or I experienced her as a very human is not the right word, not at all, but very connecting energy, very loving, very compassionate. Mm.
I would a second that because that was exactly my experience also of Mary Magdalene in the Cathar region, and definitely just this loving presence and this loving energy, just like you mentioned. And I would say that a lot of her loving energy I also find in you, Mika. So there is
Mm.
something about the region and just something about being in that place. And for those of you listening on this podcast, the only way for you to really understand what I'm saying or what we are saying is to go in person and experience it for yourself. And so Mika is going to tell us about that opportunity because she actually has a retreat, a pilgrimage that is coming up in the Kata region, and that is happening in September. Mika, could you tell us a little bit more about it?
With pleasure. So from the 16th to the 23rd of September, we are going um, to visit the places between where we live, and that is under Carcassonne. Um, and we will travel. We will visit all the places that are connected to the energy of Mary Magdalene in Rennes-les-Bains. Rennes-les-Bains is very well known. Rennes-le-Château is also very well known from the Da Vinci Code. Um, and other little other places that are less well known, but even more important, we would say, and even more pure in their energy because less touristic. Um, and from there we will visit different places, like for example Minerve. Minerve is a very special, very very special. It feels like spaceship energy, and there like a lot of Cathars have been killed. Um, and then from there we will go to Sainte Marie de la Mer, where the legends say that Mary Magdalene came to land. And then after that, we go to the Sainte Baume, the Grotte de Sainte Baume, where the church, the official version of the Dominicans, is that they say that she stayed there for 30 years. We tend not to believe that too much because we feel that she really um, traveled through France to teach and to preach. And if she would have stayed in the grotto during 30 years, her influence would not have been so strong, and then even an influence until now, and also up to the 16th century in the royal houses. So it's a very strong influence that she has had in France. So it's 400 kilometers that we will do by car, of course, and back. And we are going to I would almost forget, but we are going to unite the waters of Mary Magdalene. So this was an inspiration, a download that I received after visiting the grotto of Sainte Baume, that I feel strongly that this year is a water year. The water wants to tell us something, and then when we connect the waters on in these different places that we will visit, the waters that carry the memory of Mary Magdalene, and the water itself has memory, then the water can really like show us and help us remember her, and also heal ourselves and purify ourselves. And we are going to unite the waters between Allais-les-Bains or Rennes-le-Château and Sainte-Baume.
Wow, this is so exciting. I want to go already. So and so the link to more information about this pilgrimage is in the you will see it in the notes below. And if you are watching this live in my Facebook community, I put the link in the chat. And so Mika, I wanted to ask you, because we are already talking about a lot about Mary Magdalene, and it's so nice that even though that she was misjudged through time, then she was restored to her rightful place, and we can really see this come alive in France. And I agree with you that it like how you were saying that it's probably not so completely true that she spent the last uh, 30 years of her life in just one spot, because it is so true. In all of southern France, her presence is so known, and I can feel with the people how close they keep her in their hearts. And so that kind of influence can only reach far and wide if she did travel. So that is so beautiful that you are bringing the memory through with the water from one place where she was and ending just it's kind of it feels like walking the path again, just like she walked it. So what a beautiful experience. So for those of you who are listening, ladies, and this feels like it's calling out to you, then perhaps Mary Magdalene is calling out to you. And I would encourage everyone to reach out to Mika to find out more about it. And so because we are talking about Mary Magdalene and she has so many beautiful qualities, what is one feminine quality that you connect with the most, Mika, and why?
Mm. I would say that if I have to choose one, then I would say presence beyond polarity. And that is a virtue of the womb, like connecting to the womb or learning to connect to the womb helps, it opens a field. And this field is non-dualistic, it's inclusive. Like if we know that the womb is the place where the masculine and the feminine and all genders in between are carried, and when you know that we have um, both creation and dissolution and birth and menstruation and the receptive qualities of the feminine in the left ovary and the more giving emissive qualities, more masculine qualities in the right ovary. We have the energy of ascend and descend in the menstrual cycle that like go in sync with the moon. um, so the womb is like really a vessel for both yin and yang, let's say. Like estrogen is more yin and progesterone is more yang. And it goes beyond duality. And more than ever, I feel as a collective, as a community, we are invited to go beyond duality. And it creates, even for myself, like even without thinking of the collective, like it creates um, stability. It creates steadiness. It creates like stable, strong fundaments. Like I can sit without judging, and I can allow and trust. And that's what the womb teaches me.
That's a really beautiful place to be presence beyond duality.
Mm.
And that's so important to have that. It's like it all comes together. There is no this it's this or that, dark or light, feminine or
Mm.
masculine, but it just all comes together and you put it so well and it all ends it all comes together in one place. Why not be in this space? Definitely, I agree.
Mm.
And so, Mika, I know you have a special gift for all the listeners and also for the ladies who are watching live today. So, could you tell us a little bit more about your gift for all the listeners?
Mhm. Yes, with pleasure. On the 22nd of July, we have a Red Tara tent dedicated to the feast day of Mary Magdalene. So normally the Retara tent is an online sanctuary. It's free of charge. It's an online sanctuary to connect to the wisdom of the womb and also to the cyclical wisdom of the womb and the moon time. So we connect to the moon time inside and outside. But on the 22nd of July, as it is the feast day of Mary Magdalene, we will honor Mary Magdalene with a ceremony. And it's the space is free and beautiful, and you're so welcome.
So, the link to join is in the notes, and I also put it in the comments in the group. So This will be this month's monthly meetup. It's going, Mika will be leading that. So that is going to be the meetup for this month, for those women who join the monthly meetups in my Facebook community. And so if you would like to know more about the activities that are going on in my Facebook community that I mentioned, I will also put the link in the notes so that you can connect with me and with the other women there. And so, in closing, Mika, what message do you have for women who are listening to this interview right now?
Mm. Mm. Your womb remembers, like even if your mind tells differently, even if all the world tells you differently, your womb remembers. And you are not too much, you are not too late, you are not too broken. Um, the womb is calling you, the sacred feminine is calling you, and feel free to step into this path of the priestess, of feminine empowerment, of growing to be a leader from within, like really embracing all of what you are and allowing all of what you are. That you don't have to fix anything, just connecting to the womb and listen. And this will bring a lot of trust and stability. And I feel that we can use these qualities a lot in these times.
Thank you,
So
Mika.
you are very, very welcome to join the Womb Awakening Path and the Ratara Tree Circles.
Yes, and then so if they would like more information, where can how can they reach you if they have if they want to know more information? What is the best way for them to reach out to you to know more about you and your work?
You find me on Facebook and Instagram, Ratara Tree, and the website is called rataratree.org, and I have a Gmail address, rataratree@gmail.com.
And so last but not least, because there also may be male listeners of today's podcast. So Mika, if there are any male listeners listening to this interview right now, what message would you have for them?
That the healing of the feminine is often through inviting, re-inviting and reclaiming masculine aspects of our nature, and the other way around, that the healing of the masculine is often by accepting inner feminine parts, because we are both feminine and masculine. And like the new times, the new era is really an era of this beautiful balance and symbiosis between the masculine and the feminine, a new synthesis. And we have even a retreat coming up also for men and women, a journey through the portals of the womb and the hara, because men also have a womb, an energetic womb space that is called the hara. And actually, these portals are quite more similar than we would think between men and women. It's a very interesting journey.
So all you male listeners out there, you can listen to this again. So there is it's not only the womb, it's not only about women. There's also the hara, and it's a similar portal in your area, in the area, in the energetic area of your being. So we I would be happy to feature Mika again for her to talk more about it, and then to tell our listeners more about the that October retreat that's coming up in the fall. So thank you, Mika, for joining us live today. This was such a joy. I hope that you had a nice experience and enjoyed this as much as I did, because just listening to all the wisdom that it was coming out, I was so stupefied, really. That's the word. And how you could break it all down and say the essence of it in a very short time, I think is so wonderful. And it really shows the depth of your work, and how it all comes together, with your own special experiences. And yeah, thank you so much for being here today, and for joining us.
Thank you, Anne. I'm so happy that you invited me. Thank you so much. I
Thank
really
you.
enjoyed being in this beautiful space.
Thank you. Thank you. And I really look forward to seeing you soon, because I'm going to see you soon. So,
We'll see you soon.
so thank you everyone for joining us today in this sacred space. We hope that today's episode enlivened your heart and womb, or your hara if you are a male listening. If you liked today's episode, please share this podcast with someone who really needs to hear this truth. And follow me for more groundbreaking interviews. Together, let's rebuild relationships based on love and trust, and heal the world. Thank you for listening today.